So the Grand Junction market is absolutely crazy and on fire with homes selling really quickly. So what's someone supposed to do looking to move here from another state? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Put a plan together, a success strategy, so that when you move out here, you're ready to go. And we're going to do it right after this. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? This is Robert Hayes, and along with my wife, Christie, we are the Hayes Home Group right here in Grand Junction, Colorado. And if this is your very first time to this channel, we are so glad that you're here. If you're literally looking to know everything about what it's like to work, live, play, eat, sleep here in Grand Junction, be sure to hit that subscribe button, click that little bell, that way you're notified every time we post a new video. And for that YouTube algorithm, if you could hit that like button, we'd sure appreciate it. If you're looking to relocate here to Grand Junction, we are literally getting phone calls every day from people looking to move here, and we absolutely love it. So if that's you, make sure to reach out, give us a phone call, text, email, however you want to get a hold of us. We've got your back day, nights, weekends when moving here to Grand Junction. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have a ton of people that are reaching out to us all the time looking to relocate here from out of state here to gorgeous Grand Junction, Colorado. And what they're trying to figure out is a game plan to figure out what the best process is to make that a reality. So what I thought we would do is put together a process, a strategy that we found highly effective doing this for as long as we have, to make sure that when you do get out here, you capture that perfect house that's exactly in the right area, has all the feels, has everything that you need as far as property type, square footage, bedroom count, price point. That's important so that you can make the best informed decision for you or your entire family. So the Grand Junction real estate market is absolutely insane right now, probably very similar to the real estate market that you're in. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to talk about what I feel is the necessary timeline to make sure that you find the right area and capture that perfect house, again, for you or your entire family. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is making sure that you're surrounded with the right people to get you through this entire process. The first being a trusted real estate advisor in Grand Junction that has the experience and has a track record of doing this for people that are relocating here from out of state. Obviously, we're going to be real familiar, since we live here, of all the different areas, the price points, and we're going to know exactly what your dream home looks like and dream area looks like. Probably the biggest thing that we get from people when they get out here and meet with us is, yeah, that photo that we saw online looks nothing like the photo. Now that we're here in person, it looks nothing like it at all. So again, it's very important to have that trusted real estate agent who can guide you through those areas, let you know what those price points are. If you're looking for a certain lifestyle, we're going to have that conversation with you, and we've done this a million times. So that's the first thing, making sure that you know someone's out there with your best interest, can video certain areas. We do that all the time. So that's number one. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do is put yourself in touch with a local lender, and I cannot stress enough making sure that it is a local lender. So what they're going to do is take the information that you're providing to them and figure out what your home affordability is, what you can qualify for. And why that's important right out of the gate is, once you understand what your price approval, your loan approval looks like, it determines really the area of town that perhaps might be completely omitted, or you're actually now moved into that area because you thought you were qualified for X, and there's a $30,000 improvement that the lender was able to qualify you for, and now you're into an area that you're looking at that you never thought you could. So now you're in the west end of town versus maybe being in the north or the south area of town where price points are maybe a little lower. So I think you get the idea. So that's super important. And then it's also important because working with a local lender certainly is going to increase your odds of the seller accepting your offer versus an out-of-state or an online outfit. So in this competitive market, as soon as the seller and the selling agent understands you're working locally with a lender who understands the regulations, and it's not, again, 1,000 miles away, we can actually make sure that we take care of things in-house here in Grand Junction with that lender partner. That's a huge deal. So make sure you get with a local lender. We can refer you to one of our lender partners here, and we can get that process started. Okay, so now that we've done that and we have the loan approval, this is where things really start to get a lot of fun and having us on your side. So we can take all that information based on your wants and needs and loan approval and start distilling it down and targeting the areas that we think are going to make the most sense for you. It's funny, we have a lot of clients who have, before they've come out, look again online and they think they know the area, and then they get out here and the expectation is completely different than what they originally thought. So it's our job to make sure that we take all that information that you've provided, the loan amount that's approved, maybe you're putting a certain cash down payment along with that loan approval. So we have a perfect understanding and idea of the areas that we want to start again honing in on and getting that target circle as small as possible to make sure we find the perfect dream home for you or you and your family. So where are we at this point? You've spoken with us originally. We've sent you to our local lender partner and we have the loan amount approved and we have that pre-approval letter from the lender partner and they've sent you back to us. Now we need to figure out if you're scheduling a visit here to Grand Junction, which of course we absolutely recommend. You can buy a home sight unseen. We've done a few last year. It's not the best avenue of approach, in my honest opinion. It has worked successfully for us, but if you're planning a visit, we can then take you to those targeted areas, even those targeted neighborhoods, and start figuring out where are those homes that you're looking for in those neighborhoods, in those specific areas. So let us know what your timeline is. We'll put you on the calendar and make sure that we meet up with you and drive you through those areas that we feel are going to be the best fit for you and your family. Now, there's one thing that I want to make sure that you keep in mind when you come out and pay that visit here to Grand Junction and we meet with you and start touring some of these neighborhoods and some of these areas and even looking at specific properties. If this is the trip where you're ready to pull the trigger, you've got the pre-approval and you're ready to go, try to give us the address of the properties that you want to go looking at no sooner than 2 days before you get here. Why is that? Well, like I said, probably similar in your town, homes are going super fast. So if it's 3 weeks out and you're starting to give us property addresses of homes that you'd like to take a look at, most likely they're going to be gone by the time you get here. Not everything, but typically if it's in a desirable neighborhood and it's a desirable property with views, that sort of thing, it's going to be gone. So 2 days before, 48 hours at the soonest, give us those addresses of properties that you'd like to tour. Now, on the flip side of that, if this is a scheduled trip where this is just more of an exploratory mission and you just want to kind of get a feel for Grand Junction and the certain areas that you've been seeing and the videos that you've been watching, totally different deal. We're not going to be really looking at properties at that point. That's a trip to kind of discovery areas, neighborhoods, those sorts of things. In this competitive market, sellers typically do want to see a pre-approval letter before they'll even let you gain access to look at a property, because of course from a seller's perspective, they want to make sure that buyers are coming in that are really looking to make an offer if it's the right property for them. So let's say this is the trip where you're looking to pull the trigger, you've seen the areas, you know exactly where you want to live, you know the house that you want to buy, and we're starting to do showings for you inside some of these properties. Here's what to expect when it comes time to making an offer. Make sure that you have your down payment ready to go. Now, if you're doing a VA loan, yay, you don't even have a down payment, so that's cool. But if you don't have a VA loan and it's a FHA or conventional financing, again, make sure you have your down payment ready. And not to beat a dead horse, but as I mentioned, similar to your town, the real estate market is absolutely insane. So if you find something that meets and checks all of the boxes based on all the things that we've discussed, do not hesitate, do not wait. We need to be aggressive and make sure that we pull the trigger. A lot of times too in this market, a lot of homes are going above asking price. So we have some strategies there as your real estate agent, as your buyer's representative, to make sure that we can leapfrog certain other offers and still make sure it makes a lot of sense for you based on the research that we've done on the comparative market analysis of that property, and still have you gain equity over time. So again, make sure that we're aggressive, be ready to go, have that down payment ready, and away we go. So another thing that I really want to make sure that you're prepared for is to be prepared to pay closing costs. We don't want to ask a seller on a high demand property in a high demand area, and this is the one. Robert, we don't want to lose out on this one. Again, be prepared to pay closing costs. If we're in a competitive situation where another buyer isn't asking the seller to pay closing costs and we are, well, I mean, it's obvious which one they're going to pick. So it's all contextual. I mean, there's going to be a property that we feel is completely overpriced, or it's in an area that's not in super high demand, then there are times where we will be able to roll in those closing costs and have the seller pay for those. But just a broad brush, be prepared to pay those on your own. All right, I just wanted to pause here real quick and give you about 3 seconds. If you don't mind, we'd certainly appreciate it. If you love this information, go ahead and tap that like button there. And if there's any questions that we haven't discussed yet, go ahead and comment below. All right, let's talk about something else that you're going to want to make sure to have ready to go up front as far as cost involved. Usually earnest money deposit, which is your good faith telling the seller that you're serious about moving forward on this particular contract, is 1% of the purchase price. So a $200,000 property is going to have a $2,000 earnest money deposit. $300,000 home, $3,000. You get the point. Or at least 1 month worth of mortgage payment. Usually about the same thing. The other two things that you're going to want to make sure that you have up front and ready to go is the home inspection, which we absolutely would encourage you to do. And we can certainly refer you to some licensed, certified, insured home inspectors here that we've worked with in Grand Junction. That's usually going to be about $300 for a home inspection. And then a home appraisal, which is totally different than a home inspection. A home inspection is for you, and we can look at that together and determine what we might ask the seller to repair if there are any repair items that the home inspector finds. The home appraisal is something the lender is going to require, and they usually ask for that up front, and that's about maybe $300-400 for a home appraisal. So home inspection and home appraisal, you want to make sure you have those funds ready to go as well. Now, there are other strategies that we can get into when it comes to putting an offer on the property, depending on the property, what area of town it's located in, the demand for the property, and we can have those conversations before we put the offer in to make sure we have the biggest advantage that we possibly can. And when it comes to having that money up front, I'd like to have worst case scenario. If it's less than that, fantastic. But again, 1% earnest money, appraisal fee, inspection fee, and your down payment, of course. Let's make sure we have all those ready to go. If it's less than that, fantastic. Okay, as promised, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the timeline. Now, if you are a month or a month and a half away, you need to press pause on this video right now, pick up the phone, and we need to get our boogie on. A closing is typically about 30 to 35 days, so we need to kind of really shorten everything that we just talked about. I would say the typical, warm and fuzzy timeline is between 2 and 3 months. That way you have plenty of time to do your research, gather the information, schedule a trip out here for a day or two so we can show you around and find that perfect dream home. Less than 6 months is really ideal. A lot of times we find that the more time that you have, the better decisions that you tend to make. Now, we've had a client that called, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and said he's going to be here in 6 years. He still wanted to have a conversation. So again, the point is, it is never too early to give us a phone call so we can put that perfect success strategy together for you. If you have a home to sell before you move out here, we have a network of real estate professionals all over the country that we can put you in touch with to kind of get that dialogue going on the house that you're selling in the town that you live in. So again, I hope that was informative and you got some great information out of that. And if you're brand new to the channel and you want to know everything about working, living, playing, eating, sleeping here in Grand Junction, again, make sure you hit that subscribe, smash that bell. That way you're notified every time we post a new video. And like I said, we're helping a ton of people. We're getting literally phone calls calls every day from folks all over the country looking to move here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving here, nothing left to do but reach out. Give us a phone call, text, email, whatever you need to do, because we've got your back when moving to Grand Junction. Until the next video, we'll catch you later.